All is tagged the budget of consolidation, that's the 2018 budget, and its projections is where we're keeping our eyes on this morning. Let's go to Abuja with Markwe for her details.
Well, thank you, Gimba. Joining us this morning now to discuss the 2018 budget and the issues around it is Olajide Olatunbosun, who is a member of the House Committee on Appropriation. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Good morning, Malpe.
Good morning. Well, there's been quite a number of controversy right now from, how we're seeing the House of Representatives and the Senate handle the 2018 budget. They seem to have quite a number of issues with the budget and the current assumptions. Initially, from what we heard from the experts, it looked like it was pretty, the assumptions were pretty reasonable, but we've heard strong words such as fictitious on the floor of the Senate describing the 2018 budget. What is the problem with the 2018 budget? Well,
thank you. I still believe the 2018 budget is based on realistic assumptions. Fictitious is not a very good language. I mean, it is a budget that has a total aggregate expenditure of 8.612 trillion, oil benchmark of $45. We have a daily production of 2.3 million barrels per day, up from 2.2 million barrels for last year. That's just about 4.5% increase. You have inflation rate target of 12.4 from 12.92% of last year. GDP growth of 3.5%. If you don't forget, IMF says the average for this year will be like 4.9. So I think it is modest. As at end of third quarter, we have done 1.4%, and the economy is growing. Also, capital expenditure is going to rise by about 18%, from 2.24 to 2.652%. Looking at all these indices and the current state of the economy, I don't see anything that is fictitious.
If that is the case, I mean, because we did hear from quite a number of analysts immediately after the budget was released, and quite a number of them quite agree with you that the assumptions, that the underlying assumptions seem a little realistic. But from how we've seen the Senate and the House, the debate on the floor of the House of Representatives, for instance, it would seem that members are not quite happy with some of the figures they are seeing in the budget. For members, what precisely are the issues?
Let me put this in the right perspective. I think the issue is the capital budget. The challenge here is that it has not been implemented. Don't forget that the budget is divided into two components. You have the current and the capital expenditure side. The budget was signed into law on June 12, 2017.
That is the 2017 budget.
Yeah, that's about 5.5 months ago. Supposed to run for 12 months. So, as I'm talking to you, 450 billion naira has been released for capital budget. And the president promised when he came for his presentation that by December 31, they will have done 50%.
Even though people have questioned how feasible is that?
Well, that is based on the Euro bond that has just been issued. $2.5 billion will be used to finance 2017 capital budget. So, and you know that it's oversubscribed. So the funds are there. I'm not speaking for them, but I know that it has been done successfully. So funds will be available to do the 50%. Not only that, the balance will be rolled over to 2018. I mean, I was in a meeting on Monday where the Minister of State for Budget was saying that budget call circulars be issued to MDAs to roll over those on the ones they have not done for 2017 to 2018. So the challenge is the capital component of the budget. The current has been running since January. That is the personnel expenses and the overheads. Now, the president is empowered by the Constitution, Section 82, to spend for 6 months or until when the Appropriation Act comes into force, an amount not exceeding what was spent in the previous financial year on recurrent expenditure. So that has been ongoing. But for the capital budget, he cannot spend money until the budget is passed by the National Assembly and assented to by him. So we've done just like 5.5 months. It's a 12 months document. If not because we want to bridge the gap of signing the budget in June, we want to come to the normal fiscal year of January to December, we'll not be having this argument. So it's like the budget is halfway into its duration, and we want to bring in another one. So it's like a transition budget, so to say.
Yeah, but even then, even halfway into its transition period, and then you'll find that in capital projects, only 15% of capital projects have been